What if you were still fighting a war that ended before you were even a teenager? No phone, no newspaper, no idea the world had moved on. Just you, a rifle, and an order you refused to break. This isn't fiction. This is the incredible true story of Hiroo Onoda, the Japanese intelligence officer who refused to believe World War II had ended and remained in the Philippine jungle for 29 years, 1944. The Pacific is burning. Japan is losing ground island by island, and the Philippines are next. A 22-year-old intelligence officer named Hiroo Onoda is sent to the small Philippine island of Lubang. His mission is clear: wage guerrilla warfare, sabotage enemy operations, and survive at all costs. Before he leaves, his commanding officer gives him one final order. You are absolutely forbidden to die by your own hand. No matter what happens, we will come back for you. Onoda has no idea those words are about to shape the next 29 years of his life. August 1945. Japan surrenders. World War II is over for almost everyone. Leaflets drift down over Lubang announcing Japan's surrender. Onoda reads every word. He decides they're fake. Enemy propaganda. A trap designed to lure hidden Japanese soldiers into surrender. So he does exactly what his training tells him to do. He stays. What follows becomes one of the most extraordinary military holdout stories in history. Onoda and a handful of fellow soldiers disappear deep into Lubang's mountains. They build bamboo shelters, steal rice and bananas from nearby farms, hunt cattle for food, avoid capture. Months become years, years become decades. Search parties arrive. His family records emotional messages begging him to come home. Newspapers carrying his own photograph are dropped from airplanes. Onoda studies every piece of evidence like an intelligence officer. Every time, he reaches the same conclusion. It's all an elaborate deception. To him, the war never ended. One by one, the other holdouts surrender or die. Onoda refuses. He keeps his rifle clean, his ammunition dry, his mission alive. 1974. Hiroo Onoda is now 52 years old. A young Japanese adventurer named Norio Suzuki sets out with an unusual dream. He tells his friends he wants to find three things: Lieutenant Onoda, a panda, and the abominable snowman, in that order. Amazingly, Suzuki finds Onoda within days, but Onoda still refuses to surrender. He has one condition: bring my commanding officer. Only he can relieve me of my duty. Suzuki returns to Japan. He tracks down Onoda's former commander, now living a quiet life as a bookseller. Together they fly back to Lubang. In March 1974, nearly 29 years after the war ended, the former commander stands before his soldier once again. He gives the order Onoda has been waiting to hear. The war is over. You are relieved of your duty. Onoda salutes. He lays down his rifle, still fully functional, his sword, his ammunition, his uniform. 29 years of unwavering discipline end in less than a minute. When Hiroo Onoda finally walked out of the jungle, the world had transformed. The war had ended nearly 3 decades earlier. Japan had rebuilt. Millions of people had lived their entire lives while he continued fighting a war that no longer existed. He wasn't driven by madness. He was driven by absolute loyalty to the last order he had been given. Years later, Onoda said the hardest part wasn't the jungle. It wasn't the hunger. It was realizing that the country he had spent 29 years trying to protect had never needed him after the war ended. His story remains one of history's most remarkable examples of duty, loyalty, and the extraordinary power of belief. What would you do if the only thing keeping you alive was an order that the rest of the world had forgotten?